Good evening. My name is David Okon. Thank you for supporting this channel. And looking at the cost of living, and the cost of living is about poverty. As part of talking about the cost of living, I've also decided to look at wealth and people who are wealthy, the wealthiest people in the world. Right now, I'm actually looking at Elon Musk and companies like Tesla, which is actually the main company he owns. It's multi, I think, billion project. And in the other video on Elon Musk, I look at other aspect of his life. Now I'm going to look at his early life in more specific. Look at his childhood and his family also. Elon Musk, Elon Reeve Musk. His name is actually Elon Reeve Musk. He was born Elon Reeve Musk, who was born in on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, one of South Africa's capital cities. So Pretoria is actually in South Africa. Is one of the South African big cities. Capital cities are actually big cities. And Musk has British and Pennsylvania Dutch ancestry. So he is part British, he is part Pennsylvania American. Pennsylvania is in America, and also he is also Dutch ancestry. His ancestors come from Britain, and in part they also come from Pennsylvania and in Dutch in Europe. And but he's South African who grew up in America. He went into Canada at 18 years. In the other video, that's what we looked. His mother's name is May Musk. She was a model and a dietitian, born in Saskatchewan, Canada, and raised in South Africa. So he was born in Canada, but she was raised in South Africa. His father, Elon Musk, that's the father of Elon Musk. His father is called Elon Musk. He's a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor, consultant, and property developer who was half owner of a Zambian emerald mine near Lake Tanganyika. Now, emerald is actually something very precious. It's a precious metal. Probably, I don't know if it's rich or not. If you actually own a mine, emerald mine, if you own it, you must be really, really rich. Near Lake Tanganyika. Lake Tanganyika is actually partly in Tanzania, in East Africa, part of it is in West Africa or whatever. Southeastern Africa, and in Zambia. And Musk has a younger brother called Kimball and a younger sister called Tosca. Musk's family was wealthy during his youth. Like I said, like I suspected, he came from a wealthy family. His father was elected to the Pretoria City Council as a representative of the anti-apartheid Progressive Party, with his children cited as sharing their father's dislike of apartheid. So they don't like apartheid. I think they are sensitive people. Potentially they are supposed to be really good. People who don't like apartheid was very evil. Everybody knew about apartheid, discrimination about against black South Africans. Some of the most evil, some of the most notorious political system. And his maternal grandfather, Joshua Oldman, was an adventurous American-born Canadian who took his family on record-breaking journeys to Africa and Australia in a single-engine Belanca airplane. It was an adventure. So his maternal grandfather, his name was Joshua Oldman. He was adventurous. He was an American-born Canadian. He took his family on record-breaking journeys to Africa. No, nobody had done such a journey before. He broke a record in taking his family in on journeys on airplane. I mean, in places like Africa, Australia, in a single engine Belanca airplane. If you know a Belanca airplane, a single engine must be small. Very risky, very adventurous. After his parents divorced in 1980, Musk chose to mostly live with his father. So his parents divorced in 1980. Musk regretted his decision and has become estranged from his father. He has a paternal half sister and half brother. Ashley Vance described Ashley Vance described Musk as an awkward and introverted kid. If you are introverted, means you're shy. At age 10, he developed an interest in computing and video games, teaching himself how to program from the VIC-20 user manual. At age 20, he sold his basic game Blaster to PC and Office Technology magazine for approximately £500. So he started selling at an early age. He had a mind into gadgets and technology and selling things. His education, looking at his education, he is graduated from Pretoria Boys High School in South Africa. Musk attended Waterkloof House Preparatory School, Bryanston High School, and Pretoria Boys High School, from which he graduated. Musk applied for a Canadian passport through his Canadian-born mother, knowing that it would be easier to immigrate to the United States this way. While waiting for his application to be processed, he attended the University of Pretoria for 5 months. Musk arrived in Canada in June 1989 and lived with a second cousin in Saskatchewan for a year, working odd jobs at a farm and a lumber mill. So his childhood story is a bit similar with Elon Musk, with Jeff Bezos. When I talked about Jeff Bezos, because he did ordinary jobs. Elon Musk, he did ordinary jobs. He came from initially his family were rich, but I think something happened, and then in 1990 he entered Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. This is in the USA. 2 years later, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, where he completed studies for a Bachelor of Arts degree in Physics and a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics from the Wharton School. This was some history of studies in America, and although Musk claims he earned the degree in 1995, he maintained University of Pennsylvania maintains it awarded them in 1995. That is a matter of detail. Probably he's so busy. Musk is so busy. He probably have forgotten. He reportedly hosted large ticketed house parties to help pay for tuition and wrote a business plan for an electronic book scanning service similar to Google Books. So his journey towards craftsmanship in technocracy, he's like a very technical person, and book scanning services, this is similar to Google Books, online kind of like facilities. So, I mean, he is a scientist and an economist, so he all shows in his demeanor. But what is interesting, he did this thing to pay his own tuition fee, and he was so resourceful. So it's so impressive, even from an early age. And probably he didn't really know he was even going to be a millionaire. In 1994, Musk held 2 internships in Silicon Valley, one at the energy storage startup Pinnacle Research Institute, which investigated electrolytic alpha capacitors for energy storage, and another at the Palo Alto based setup rocket science games. So there's something called Silicon Valley. He held two internships in Silicon Valley. Internship means he actually went probably and worked there. So these areas were in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is associated with computer chips, and he actually went there to do internship, to work there as a student, to learn skills, work experience actually. So one of these internships was at energy storage startup. Energy storage startup is like, if you want to start a business or something, the institute is called Pinnacle Research. Pinnacle Research Institute, which is actually energy storage startup. Energy storage is quite relevant to what Elon Musk now does. So he was this institute investigated electrolytic ultra capacitors, for energy storage, and another one of the places he actually he interned in also. One of the second places he did in internship was actually at Palo Alto, which Palo Alto based startup. So this startup was based in somewhere called Palo Alto. It's a startup rocket science game. So it's similar, but this is for rocket science games. In 1995, he was accepted to a PhD program in material science at Stanford University. However, Mark decided to join the internet boom instead of dropping out 2 days after being accepted, and applied for a job at Netscape, to which he reportedly never received a response. So he dropped out. He got a place to study PhD program in material science at Stanford University, which he actually dropped out and applied for a job at Netscape, but he was rejected. He wasn't even giving a reply. He didn't get a response from them. So let's look at his business career. Let's look at Zip2. So, look at his life span, life story, and how he developed in what now has become the Elon Musk as we know him. And this is of interest to people who want, actually young people who want to develop into what they want to be, what they want to become. And also people who are actually suffering the cost of living, to see if they can learn something from the experience, the story of Elon Musk, and do something similar. Or let's get an idea that, if Elon Musk can work his way up as an ordinary person with a bit of luck, with a bit of history, background, his experience, his background might be not yours. But one way or the other, any human being can do something in the market economic environment that we have. If you look at my video, My other videos, I'll talk about the market economic system under capitalism, which means people who do business actually normally they have the capacity to get out of poverty. I'm not saying they always succeed, but they are more likely than not to succeed. The chances of them succeeding is higher than people who actually do not understand business. And even if you work for a living, you would probably make a bit more money if you do some business. It doesn't matter how little it is. It may be earns you only £500 per month, per week, or even per week. If you do a business with additional business which earns you £500 per month, per week, even if it is per month, it's good experience. You learn how to do business. You may not actually get rich. You may not even grow into a big business, but still, it's a good experience. You are actually always better off. I mean, you can only get better. So in 1995, Elon Musk, his brother Kimball, and Greg Corey founded Zip2. So three people: Elon Musk and his brother, and another person called Greg. His brother is called Kimball, and the other person, well, actually, Greg Corey. They founded Zip in 1990. Zip2 in 1995. So Elon Musk, who was actually his father, provided them with £28,000 in funding. So this is actually the difference, because have you got a father, have you got a daddy who can help you financially with $28,000 or even pounds to start a business? The answer is probably no. Not a lot of people don't even have 28,000 US dollar in saving. Even if they have it, they wouldn't actually give it to their children to start business, because probably that's the only saving they have. So you could say that Elon Musk's father, was probably a well-to-do man. The company developed an internet city guide with maps, directions, and yellow pages, and marketed it to newspapers. So they sold this product to newspapers. No, they don't. They marketed it to newspapers, which actually similar to actually selling it. They work at a small rented office in Palo Alto. Musk coding the website every night. Eventually, Zip2 obtained contracts with the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. The brothers persuaded the board of directors to abandon a merger with City Surge. However, Musk's attempt to become CEO was thwarted. He wanted to become the CEO of Zip2. He merged with the other people, Chicago Tribune, for example, try and develop what is a digital equivalent of operations of media facilities. Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million in cash in February 1999, and Musk received $22 million for his 7% share. He had a 7% share in the business, and when they sold it to Compaq, for $307 million, which was paid in cash in February 1992, Elon Musk received a share of 22 million US dollar. That is big money. That's big money. So there is also another business which he created, X.com and PayPal. A lot of you may be familiar with PayPal, X.com, PayPal, and PayPal Mafia. Later in 1999, Musk co-founded X.com an online financial services and email payment company. So these are all digital products and business infrastructures. X.com X.com was one of the first federally insured online banks, and over 200,000 customers joined in its initial months of operation. So, 200 over 200,000 customers joined in the same year. Even though Musk founded the company, investors regarded him as inexperienced and replaced him with Intuit CEO Bill Harris by the end of the year. Intuit was another company. This is actually the relationship we had with other partners in 2000. X.com merged with online bank Confinity to avoid competition, as Confinity's money transfer service PayPal was more popular than X.com services. So this merger was actually to grow big and actually unfend of competition. So the argument that big business are efficient, they're efficient in actually avoiding competition. Competition is actually the essence of privatization. That the logic the government use to privatize the economy is that the customer will have choice. Choice arises out of competition. Now, if companies can actually circumvent the requirement to compete, then they end up with big organization monopoly, which actually is anti-competitive, and customers actually begin to suffer because they big organization control prices. They actually destroy competition. So the government is actually not knowing what it does by privatizing the economy and promoting the idea of choice, because it does not work. Small and medium businesses merge into big monopolies, big corporations, and they become so powerful that they dictate the prices of energy, they dictate the prices of food, they dictate the prices of commodities, houses, medicine, transportation, and this is the direction of travel in involving capitalism and the marketization of the economy. And that also means people who are the majority of every country will not be have the capacity to participate in the economy. They cannot buy, they cannot sell. You have to be rich to actually access the new world economy and the capitalism, which actually will be run by corporate big businesses like the one we see with Elon Musk and the likes. So Musk then returned as CEO of the merged company. His preference for Microsoft over Unix-based software caused a rift among the company's employees and led Peter Thiel, Confinity's co-founder, to resign. So the battle of the emperors. They fought. Uh, Elon Musk actually preferred Microsoft um, over something called Unix-based software. So this caused a rift. It caused actually a rift among the company's employees, confusion and infighting, and led to somebody called Peter Thiel, who was actually Confinity's founder, to resign. Confinity was one of the companies merging with Elon Musk's other company. So, with the company suffering from compounding technological issues and the lack of a cohesive business model, the board ousted Musk and replaced him with Thiel in September 2001. So he was removed again because he wasn't really experienced. Probably there was some problem, lack of cohesion, lack of clear business model, which is a plan, and they were said to be technological issue. In 2002, PayPal was acquired by eBay for 1.5 billion in stock, of which Musk, the largest shareholder with 11.72% of shares, received a 175.8 million US dollar. 175.8 million US dollar. So in that sale, he get a bonanza. In 2017, more than 15 years later, Musk purchased the X.com domain from PayPal for its sentimental value. Sentimental value, it means it's not, the value is not actually business or economic, but he liked it. So he valued it in other ways than in terms of commerce and business logic. He probably just needed it for some other things. In 2022, Musk discussed a goal of creating X, the everything app. So I'm going to stop this video here. And thank you for watching this video. We're talking about Elon Musk. We're talking about his life history. We're talking about his experience as a businessman, as an inventor, as a technocrat, and also as an investor. All sorts, actually. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel, and leave a comment below. Thank you. Bye bye.